Now on the church fire, um, you're still working with the ATF and State Fire Marshal, right?
Yes, sir. They've been it's been nice. They've been very good helping us with some resources. Obviously an investigation of that size is very daunting, very taxing, and so they've been good about staying here and assisting our fire marshal here. Marshall is the lead investigator, and so they've been assisting him, helping with interviews and reconstructions based off of blueprints and photos and all that good stuff. And so they've been doing a very good job with that, trying to put that puzzle back together and see if we can get a cause.
Yeah, that's and then you guys have a highly unusual challenge in that you are dealing with a pile of bricks and you're having to move across that, right?
Right. Yeah, the sanctuary area, obviously the part that everybody's seen in the photos and everything that's out in the media. That sanctuary, actually, it's you can't really tell from the street side, which is the most common photo that's out there. But there's actually a sub level, a basement level underneath that, where all the church offices were. And so when all that collapsed, we not only have the issue of the sanctuary, but there's a structure underneath where all that is filled into. So it makes it very challenging. We for safety reasons, we'll have limitations on what we can do to get in there to get to that stuff.
Yeah, it's almost seems like one brick at a time when you get to that stage, right?
Yeah, it'll be a very detailed process. I used to work urban search and rescue, and any of those rubble piles, they present challenges because it's not just removing the brick, but as you remove things shift. And that's what really gets you in trouble, is when things start to shift. Pulling bricks out is not that big a deal until you pull the wrong brick, and then everything shifts and you've created a void and another issue. So we'll have some challenges there for sure.
Yeah, it's so was it the basement level like a full story?
Yeah, it was a sub. If you from the Lafayette side, the south side of the building, when you look at that, you can actually see there's a row of windows at the bottom. That's actually a sub level. The sanctuary sits on top of that, and so that's obviously one of the areas that we had concerns. We didn't know at the time. We didn't know where the fire had began, and weren't sure about what our access level would look like there, as far as being able to enter that area or enter the sanctuary, which is why we made the decision we made to not put people into the building, because it had such a head start on us. We didn't know what the structural stability of it was, and it turned out it was a really good choice because we didn't have long when things started collapsing. So very fortunate that we didn't get anybody hurt, and I thought our battalion chief made excellent tactical decisions on that fire.
So have you discovered some kind of origin point?
I have not been briefed on that yet. I've given the investigation team a lot of leeway. Said, go do what you do and just brief me when you find things. And so at this time, I've asked that they just brief me when they have something that we can release. And at this time, they're still working, so I don't have anything to release on an actual point of origin or anything like that. But I'm hopeful that we'll have that soon. These guys are making great progress.
And I guess as of right now, midday today, they're in that building somewhere.
Yeah, that's I know they were going back out there this morning. I'm assuming they're still there. Otherwise, he'd be on camera with me. But I'm assuming that they're still there, and they're conducting those. They've been doing interviews. That's been one of the beauty parts of having the ATF and the State Marshal's office here. They've been able to divide up those tasks that need to be completed, and so that's why they're being so efficient on this process. It feels like we're moving very quickly because we've had the resources to be able to divide those tasks up and get some of that stuff accomplished.
Now, that debris pile, very large. I mean, it's completely filled in the basement, I guess.
Correct, yes.
And then you guys were concerned with safety, so you had to knock down that wall.
Yes, sir.
And has that made the situation even more challenging?
The knocking down the bricks to make it safe so it didn't collapse on us, it has made it more challenging because we had an initial collapse before that wall ever came down. And that's what we're talking about. That sanctuary level had started to collapse into the basement level. So we'd already had that collapse to work with. And then when we were worried about the collapsing of the brick walks, we lose structural integrity as those, buildings are designed to operate as one unit. And when you start pulling out pieces, it's only a matter of time before they want to fall. And so that's why we made the decision to take down that wall. And yes, when we pushed in that south wall, we added to the collapse and rubble that was in that area.
Okay. And so, any ballpark figure on how long something like this might take?
Well, I wish I could tell you I had a lot of experience with these types of. These are kind of a once in a career type fire, so I don't really have a personal frame of reference. What I can tell you is just based on experience. Investigations, you typically won't put a timeline on them because you want people to be thorough. You want them to explore all the possibilities. You want them to look at everything they can, and this is no exception. This building was important to the community, and we want to make sure that we've gone through every possible scenario that we can go through, so that when we confidently say, "Hey, this is what we believe happened," that we can say that we've investigated all portions of that, and then the community will have confidence in the answer that we give. So I would be probably doing them a disservice if I tried to put a timeline on it. We want to make sure that we do it right.
Yeah. Okay. Just I guess it takes as long as it takes.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Anything you'd like to add?
No, I just appreciate the assistance we've had from the media in general. Everybody's been very good about helping us coordinate the messaging out to the people, and just cannot say enough about the community here in Marshall. They're amazing, and they're very supportive of us. And like I said, our goal is to try and always keep their trust and maintain that and give them the answers that they deserve. So that's what we're going to continue to do.
Yeah. Now, one other thing that occurred to me: have you guys been able to find any kind of witnesses to the church fire? I mean, 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock
Well,
in the morning.
we live in a digital age, so there's a lot of like cameras on buildings and so forth, and the church also had cameras, and so we're going through all of that footage as part of the investigation. And so if something comes up, we'll certainly share that. But again, I haven't really been told anything about that at this time. I've really let them gather it and do their things. One of the things we don't want to do is release information that causes people to start to think, well, they think it's this, or they, right now all options are on the table, and we'll investigate them all, and when we know, we'll share that information.
Still no sign, I guess, of whether or not it's suspicious.
Yeah, I mean, I will tell you the standard fire department issue is we're always going to keep that on the table until we rule it out. But from the standpoint, I don't see anything, and our investigators, I don't believe have seen anything that leads us to believe it was anything nefarious. But that'll remain on the table until we absolutely rule it out. And like I said, it's the goal here is to try and to figure out what actually did happen. So.
All right. Thanks for the information, Chief.
Yes, sir.